Well, welcome. This is week 4 of ending a habit, any habit you picked. And then we'll do next month in November, there's 3 weeks, starting with the first Saturday, and that's changing family agreements. So that's kind of fun, looking at the vibration of the family and if you'd like to reset it, doing that. So we'll be working on that in November. And then I'm going to officially sign off. I won't retire till December 15th, but that will be the end. So we started this to kind of help with COVID, and I think it's been great. I've just had the best time. So thanks for joining.
Thanks for doing it.
Thank you.
I think it's been wonderful. I really have loved it.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah, I just felt like we needed to be together when the world was going a little crazy, and it's just a fun check-in once a week. So yeah,
It's wonderful. Yeah, thank you.
good. You're welcome. You're welcome. So we're going to start with grounding like we do every week, because that's the best tool we have. Just getting centered. So go ahead and take a deep breath. I'll mute the group so it's quiet. There we go. And settle back in your chair. You can close your eyes if that feels comfortable and go inward. And take about 3 deep breaths. Just exhaling slowly. And that gives the message to the body to turn off the world around you and go within. Just finding your own knowledge, your own truth. And give yourself a big hello tonight. And then looking down at the very base of your spine, making an energy connection between the base of your spine and the very center of the earth. Putting in that grounding cord, that energy connection. Lots of times I like to have my grounding cord make the sound a seatbelt makes when it clicks in. It's kind of a nice way of anchoring. Kids like to take a monkey tail and wrap it around a big tree at the very center of the earth. So however you do it is fine with me. But just let that grounding be connected and just start to let go of any energy that no longer serves you. And breathing. And as that grounding goes in, it brings your spirit into the body. It lets you anchor and become more aware. So it's kind of like waking up. The spirit part brings all the information to the body. And the body's great. It runs on automatic. You know, it just all that breathing and things we don't even think about, muscles moving, just happen naturally. So the spirit brings the information to the body so it can process what it's learning. And this starts as you, even before you're in utero, as the spirit, you spend a great deal of time getting ready, picking the right body genetically, looking at the lessons you'd like to learn, lining things up. And when you're ready, you hop in, find those lucky parents, and you pick them much more than they pick you. you find just what you need for the lessons you'd like to learn this lifetime. So validate your choice. You've learned a lot from this set of parents, and you've had many sets of parents. Just when we have in a lifetime, we happen to take that particular set a little serious. But have a little gratitude for what you've learned so far this lifetime. And open up a new space in front of you for even more adventures. I don't think we ever stop learning. Even in the dying process, there's a whole lot of letting go, of seeing things from a slightly different take. And you might notice in a lifetime, we tend to stay pretty busy. So just take a moment and ground out anything you don't need, so that what you are aware of comes to the surface. And let's look at that habit you've been working on for the last 3 weeks. This is week number 4. And just kind of imagine whatever habit you've been working on, over exercising, eating, gambling, whatever your habit is, just say hello to it. Even that habit has taught you something about life. If we can find it kind of neutrality to it, it's not good or bad. It's just looking at, is it still in present time? Is it something that you still need? And just kind of grounding that habit. You can think of putting it, the energy of it in a bubble or a box. And then just grounding it, releasing any charge to that habit. Giving it its own grounding cord. And sometimes it's kind of funny to see what else is in there. It's not usually all your energy. One of the fascinating things about a habit, even though you might have developed it later in life, sometimes it goes all the way back to a condition in utero. I want you to think of, in present time, this moment, one time when maybe you were hungry, but for whatever reason, you didn't have a chance to eat. Maybe a phone call came in you had to take, you didn't get to go to lunch that day, and your body started to go into survival. It needed that energy from food to take its next step. And the same thing happens when a mom is pregnant. Hey, women are on the go, and you can't always eat at the very moment that you need it most. I think pregnant moms on their best days, pack snacks. But does that always happen? No, just like it doesn't with us in the moment either. And so when the body is faced with a critical energy break, it goes in kind of a survival mode, and it either shuts down or it starts to draw the energy in of what it needs most. So interesting how this can sometimes tie to a habit. Many times, say for a smoker, there's this pause where they are lighting their cigarette and beginning to smoke that actually brings them into their body. Smoking can take them out of their body, but initially it brings you in. You have to light the cigarette and you have to be in your body to light it. Just interesting. If it's food, sometimes that can correlate all the way back in utero, like we said. But usually there's this energy that's produced in utero of a specific need. And so we're going to play just a little bit with this and see how it ties into that habit that you have. Even a habit like being poor, not having enough of what you need can be a habit. It can be something that you've created again and again, where you find yourself in a similar situation and you'd like to break out of that mode. So looking at your habit and grounding it, find where, like, what is the basis of it? What is the survival tied into having a hard time being without that habit? And again, the habits are all over the board. It could be people have to exercise for like 4 or 5 hours a day. Again, other people eat, some people gamble, smoking, drinking, pick your pleasure. And just notice, what is the key that gets triggered in you when you can't have it? What is that energy? And we're just getting curious. You can get out a magnifying glass and look at it. Is there somebody else's energy that's in there with yours? Is there, sometimes there's a being, another spirit that attaches in. And you could say, hey, who am I gambling for? Who am I eating for? Who am I smoking for? Sometimes you'll see another energy, sometimes you won't. But take a look. Just allow yourself to get curious. And you can imagine a timeline from conception all the way through 9 months in utero. And where was a stress point in utero? 2 months, little tiny embryo, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. See where that stress is. And what did you as a little budding embryo actually need? You might have just needed comfort and your mom was stressed. So when you look at that timeline, just again, if you can imagine grounding it and cleaning out the stress energy and filling it with comfort. Because all babies, all children heal their parents so that it's easier for them to survive. So a stress response just means you as a little tiny embryo healed your parents, your mom more than likely. And that's what kids do. Did she ask you to heal her? No. It's just a response. And as a healer, that's where some of that original healing energy begins. So say hello to it. There's no good or bad. There's no judgment. And just for a minute, just extend that comfort to your mom. And find that place of forgiveness for her that she was stressed and that you took it on. You have to forgive yourself in there a little bit. And take a deep breath. Anybody who's a parent knows that, hey, you have good days and bad days, high days and low days. And nobody does it perfect. We all do the best we can. Some days we're just having a great time, and other days we're worried or we're stressed financially, or there's so many great opportunities in life. So forgive yourself if you've ever had a tough day. And forgive your parents if they got stressed. And in this stress position, we can also become kind of critical of ourselves. But you might say the judge in us that picks at us. So find that place where you might ever have criticized yourself for anything. It's usually the shoulds. I should do this. I should do that. And so letting go of that energy of shoulds so that you can actually just be present with yourself. And breathe. And bring some of that love and comfort to your body. Let your spirit awareness bring that to you. And ask yourself with your habit, how much of it do you really need in present time? If you're a smoker, it might be instead of smoking a pack a day, maybe you only need to smoke 3 cigarettes a day, whatever it is. If you binge on ice cream, it's like, do you have to eat a whole gallon or could you just eat 10 spoonfuls? Just having fun, playing with it and asking, what is it that you actually need or want? And not making it right or wrong. Just getting curious. And sometimes when we look at a habit, it's like, okay, what else could I do if I want to shift out of that, that would feel comforting to me? What's another way you like to comfort yourself? It could be finding another food that you like. It could be dancing instead of having to exercise 5 hours a day. It might be dancing, doing something that's fun. But look at what could you replace that habit with? What would be a next step to focus on? What else would be fun? And if you cut that habit down, say 5% or 10%, what would you like to put in its place? And go for it. Really think of something that would be validating for you. And bring your space into affinity with that mock-up in present time. Just trying that new energy on and seeing how it feels. This too is where you can bring, we always talk about our body being communication, the spirit awareness part, hooking into and being in agreement with the body. I like to visualize it as like 2 wedding bands that are interlocked. And so how do you as a spirit like to communicate with your body? And bringing that love and that compassion and creativity to that body. And giving it that awareness. Letting yourself have a little fun. Really getting to enjoy this life more and more. So that instead of living by shoulds, you really enjoy your body in present time. This experience on planet Earth that's just not boring, the more you can have a little amusement and be in neutrality, the more you get out of this life. So instead of waiting till you're at the edge of your life, start now. And take a deep breath. And then we're going to do a little energy clean out of our chakras. So let's start right at that first chakra, right at the base of your spine where your body meets the chair. And clean out any energy that makes it hard for you to give to yourself. Taking care of your survival needs, having enough time, enough money, enough good food, sleep, really nurturing that body. Anything that makes it hard for you to find the time to nurture yourself. Just pull that energy out and throw it down your grounding cord so that you have plenty of time to nurture yourself. There is no time, so it's kind of fun to play with that time boundary, and I love bending time. Getting all these things in that are impossible, and yet it still happens. One of my favorite games. So just cleaning out that first chakra and then filling it with a rich, vibrant color so that taking care of yourself is easier. It feels good and nurturing. When you have that first chakra color set right where you want it, let's go up to the second chakra, 2 fingers below the navel. And cleaning out emotional needs. What makes you feel warm and tender and safe inside? And again, taking out any energy that doesn't allow you to feel safe inside that body. Letting it go. Releasing any energy that makes it hard for you to love yourself. And just like wrapping yourself in a nice warm blanket on a chilly night, what colors would feel good in that second chakra? What would help you feel nurtured and cared for? And fill that second chakra with those colors. And already, just having worked those 2 chakras, notice how much the body's relaxing. Excellent. Let's come up to the third chakra, the solar plexus. This is your power, your chi, how you walk in the world. And kind of notice, is there a tightness in that stomach? Do you feel that angst? Is there any tension? And if there is, just let it melt down that grounding cord. And again, feeling that energy of safety and compassion, feeling good within your own body. When we feel safe, we don't have to control everything around us. However we experience it, we experience it. So if something is different, you can say, oh, that's interesting. Isn't how I envisioned it today, but isn't that interesting? Versus having to change it. So find that place in the third chakra that wants to control things. What the heck? Give it a big hello. And then draining some of that energy out so that you can enjoy whatever shows up. It's always for your highest learning. Whether you choose to stay there or step out of it, you always have a choice. And breathe. And what color or colors would help you glide through life in a way that supports you? Again, where you feel safe and honored. What colors would that be? And fill that third chakra with those colors. As long as you're on the journey, you might as well have some fun. And then let's come up to the heart center in the middle of the chest. Loving yourself, loving others. And again, in this journey, this is the bridge between body and spirit. What is it that you need? What's the next step you want to focus on? You have this whole life in front of you. What is it that you would like? What validates you? Instead of focusing on something you don't like, put your attention on something you do in order to draw more of that to you. And breathe. Cleaning out anything that you want to release out of that heart chakra. And again, looking at what gives back to you, what nurtures you. What does your self-love color look like? Firing that critical part of you and employing a loving part that's very kind. I like to think of my self-talk as more like a coach, a cheerleader, than someone who's critical. And take a deep breath. We're halfway there. Kind of notice in your body how you're feeling. And these next three chakras are more on the spiritual level. So we're going to go up to the throat, the fifth chakra, where you express your communication and your creativity. And looking at what works for you there. What level of support do you need? Maybe it's creating friends or workmates that can really see you and have what you have to offer. Having friends, surrounding yourself with people that can enjoy being with you and vice versa. How do you like to express that inner self to the world? How do you use your creativity? Just cleaning out that fifth chakra, releasing anything that doesn't serve you. And again, what is your creativity? What are your colors there? You're only limited by your imagination. What is your color of communicating? And breathe. Excellent. And then taking that elevator up right between the brows, the sixth chakra, your clairvoyance, clear seeing, your perception of the world, and again, finding a sanctuary, a safe place for you. What keeps you anchored in that body as a spirit? With the world as crazy as it is, I like to imagine it as a hurricane. And I'm in the eye of the hurricane where it's nice and calm. I have a bird's eye view of all the chaos around me. But when you're in the eye of the hurricane, you're grounded. You're in that safe space. And you can throw roses of hope into that hurricane, grounding. But it serves you better if you can stay in the eye. Then you're much more effective. You can be of great help to those in the chaos. So saying hello to that space as a spirit. And again, find the colors, the vibration that help you stay in that eye, in that safe place while the world goes through its changes. What keeps you anchored? And give that energy to yourself. To me, we're really just starting. So I think there's a lot more changes coming. So it's great to be able to find that center of yourself where all of your safety is internal. Using your energy tools and keeping that so that you have that neutral point of view where you can look and see, but not have to be part of the chaos. Put those colors in your sixth chakra and then climb on up to the very top of your head, the crown. And this is your truth. And we all see it just a little bit different. There is no right or wrong way. We each came to learn different things and to share different things. So really trusting your information. What is your strongest truth about yourself and about where you are in your life? And if you ever start to feel invalidated, like, I don't know what my truth is, hey, take everybody else out of your space, out of your head, and just find you. You can't really do it somebody else's way. And so it's really trusting your own inner voice, your own information that you've come up with as a spirit. All the things you've learned through time, all are in that crown chakra, all right there waiting for you. And I like to take a little tuning fork and imagine tuning my crown and bringing all the other chakras in harmony with my crown so that my truth runs all the way through my body. That way it's easier to listen to what your inner voice is telling you. So take a deep breath and just validate your truth, whatever it is. Breathe. Excellent. And then last but not least, put that huge gold sun above your head, twice as big as your body. And what do you want to fill it with? What do you want for that next step? More laughter, more joy, loving yourself more, maybe more money. Again, all of our needs are very different. Just being real with yourself and saying, what is it that you need? And put that in that gold sun, the energy of it, and pop it and let it flow like liquid gold down through your whole body. Just breathing in that awareness, that giving to yourself. And then as you fill all the chakras and the inside of the body, you can let it cascade out into the aura around you. And that gold can dissipate and you can put a color in your bubble that you'd like to have for the rest of the night. And just notice how you feel now and where you were when you first started tonight. And validate yourself. Nobody made those changes but you. So really looking at how capable you are. You have this. We each have that information. It's really in a way getting quiet long enough to put our attention on it and see what our truth is, what we each need. So really validate yourself. Know that anytime you get stuck in life, just sit down for 5 or 10 minutes. Find you. Find your awareness. You always have the answer. It's inside you. So no matter what life throws at you, if you can be a tiny bit amused and you can find your grounding, you can find your way home. Not hard. Okay, and stretch. You can come on out of that light trance.